What is up, everybody? Just a big announcement video here. My roster for Madden 22 is complete. I just want to talk a little bit about what it is. Many of you are familiar with my roster update. It is a ratings overhaul catered to really bring you a more realistic experience for your franchise experiences. You know, the EA ratings tend to be too high, in my opinion. Kind of makes it a little too easy to team build, and also just some of the ratings kind of trash, honestly. Things like Tom Brady being ahead of Aaron Rodgers in 2021. So that's the point of this roster. And then, it just adds more difficulty to your team building experience. You're not going to see quite as many free agents, as starting caliber players, and just in general, some of your wide receiver fours and backup linebackers and backup safeties, they're much more like, mid 60s and low 70s as opposed to mid 70s, where there's just less depth in the league that better replicates what you see in real life there. And then I did a couple other little things for gameplay improvements. You will notice that no safeties, really just defensively across the board. Strength is much more finely tuned to a player's size. You won't get those outlier safeties that have, the same strength as some defensive tackles. So as you go through, you'll see like smaller linebackers, for example, have really bad strength, so that if you put them in the box and expect them to play like a Donta Hightower, who has the highest strength of any linebacker, he's not going to play like Mark McLaurin and Donald Payne, and they will get bodied in the middle there. And that goes all the way down through to like defensive end. So if you play Shaka Toney at defensive end, or Jacob Martin, it's not going to look the same as playing an actual 3-4 defensive end in there. So it's just going to give you some more of that realism with positions and where you can line guys up. And then the other little thing I had to do was edit some block shedding, because for cornerbacks, they actually do not list block shedding in here. If you go to the cornerback in the editing menu. So for corners, I actually checked the block shedding of everybody, and you had to change them to free safety, edit the block shedding, put them back to corner. So just little details like that. That is the love and care you're getting with the TFG roster here. So like Patrick Surtain, who is going to, I think, be an absolute monster against the run at 6'2", 202 pounds. I think he had like 48 block shedding, which is towards the bottom for starting corners. So just stuff like that, making sure you get the most realistic gameplay experience here. And that's really all I want to talk about as far as what the roster is. You're getting a ratings overhaul, more realistic franchise experience, and some attention to detail stuff that you're really not going to get with any roster out there. As far as how to get the roster, where it is, right now it's only on next generation Xbox. However, I do have a great team working on this thing. They are currently inputting all of the ratings from a video recording, onto a spreadsheet that they can then use the ratings from that spreadsheet to put into PS5, PS4, old gen Xbox, and PC. PS5, PS4, and PC look like they're gonna happen. I don't have ETAs right now, but they're working relatively quickly. It looks like they might be done in the next couple weeks, at least before the scouting overhaul is done. Old gen Xbox, there are some people working on it. They might be a little bit slower, but that's an update as far as other consoles. But right now, next gen Xbox, you come here to community files, you download it. I'm not going to do it right here. It's pretty straightforward. Do make sure you guys, if you do download it, come down here into your downloads and drop a like for me. You just hit rate and then hit like, so I appreciate that. And then the last thing I will say is, if this roster improves your Madden experience, if it makes your franchise mode more immersive, more fun, more enjoyable, if you look at this as a DLC-sized expansion to your Madden 22 experience, I would really appreciate it if you supported and endorsed the roster. You guys come through with these every year, and it really allows me to continue doing this roster every year, because this was a huge time commitment, editing pretty much every player in the game. It took me, really working a full workday for a few days here, probably about 80, 90 hours total to get really 2 weeks worth of work to get this whole roster done. It was really grinding. So if you want to support the roster, you can do it on PayPal. It's paypal.me/TFG football, on Venmo at Marcus-Whitman. And then also to my lovely Patreon supporters, you guys also have showed up big. So your continued support on Patreon, where you'll also get exclusive content like film breakdowns and my weekly NFL picks and stuff throughout the season, and the ability to submit mailbag questions to the show. I really appreciate you guys, and I know a lot of you on Patreon support this roster via Patreon, so I have not forgotten about you. So thank you to you as well, and anyone that wants to sign up there on patreon.com/thatfranchiseguy. So I hope you guys enjoy the roster. That's all I've got for you right now. I'm going to be heading out of town this weekend, and then next week we'll be picking up our first rebuild with this full roster. We also just started our Raiders rebuild on Twitch. That is hype. Can't wait to get back and continue that thing. So I appreciate you guys for watching and for enjoying the roster, and enjoy your franchises this weekend. Peace.